Invisibility suited Elena Morales. For 6 years, she'd cleaned the floors at Thorne Dynamics headquarters, while billionaire CEO Marcus Thorne constructed an empire poised to control global technology. When his Japanese translator collapsed mid-sentence during pivotal negotiations with the Yamamoto Corporation, Elena, a janitor no one ever noticed, left the entire room speechless with her perfect, nuanced Japanese. Marcus's initial relief soured into suspicion as this unlikely savior skillfully navigated the cultural intricacies that had nearly scuttled his trillion-dollar deal. He couldn't possibly know that Elena's linguistic prowess was no accident. Before we continue, tell us where in the world you are watching from. Drop it in the comments below, and if you enjoy this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more powerful content like this. She was the widow of Mateo Sanchez, the brilliant programmer whose stolen algorithms were the secret engine behind Marcus's military projects and whose supposed accident had never felt right. Now, after years of patient observation, Elena had finally maneuvered herself into the heart of Marcus Thorne's world, prepared to uncover the truth of her husband's death and expose the dangerous technology that he planned to unleash. The morning light cut through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Thorne Dynamics' Manhattan headquarters, casting long shadows across the polished floors. Marcus Thorne adjusted his bespoke suit as he gazed at his reflection. At 42, he was the youngest man to ever amass a $300 billion net worth. 10 minutes until the Yamamoto delegation arrives, Mr. Thorne, said Jessica, his chief of staff, her voice tight with anxiety. If this merger succeeds, you'll control the world's next generation AI infrastructure. 3 floors below, Elena Morales moved through the executive washrooms with practiced efficiency. At 47, she had spent the last 6 years cleaning the spaces where monumental decisions were made, unseen by those who made them. When the crisis struck 30 minutes into the meeting, the company's veteran translator clutching his chest and collapsing, chaos erupted. As paramedics wheeled the man out, Marcus turned to Jessica, his voice a low growl. "Find another translator, now!" 10 minutes passed, then 20. The deal was evaporating. Elena, who had been quietly cleaning an adjacent office, heard everything. She stepped forward and approached Jessica. "Excuse me," she said softly. "I speak Japanese." Jessica stared, first in disbelief, then in desperate hope. She rushed back to the conference room, emerging moments later with Marcus, his face a mask of barely controlled panic. He scanned Elena's janitor uniform with obvious disdain. "You speak Japanese?" he demanded. "Yes, sir. Fluently. Prove it." Elena stood tall and addressed him in flawless, formal Japanese, her intonation perfect. Marcus was trapped between his deep-seated prejudice and the ticking clock of a trillion-dollar deal. "Fine," he snapped, "but change first. Get her something to wear." 20 minutes later, Elena entered the conference room in a borrowed blazer. The lead Japanese delegate, Mr. Sato, regarded her with mild curiosity. He spoke, his eyes testing this new development. Elena bowed respectfully before translating, capturing not just the words, but the subtle implications, the cultural honorifics, the entire world of meaning encoded in his speech. The tension in the room began to dissolve. Marcus watched in astonishment as Mr. Sato, a notoriously stoic negotiator, became more animated, even smiling. After 2 hours, Mr. Sato rose. "This has been most productive," he said through Elena. I would like to continue our discussions over a private dinner, just you, myself, and your exceptional translator. Later that evening, after the offices had emptied, Elena was back in her gray uniform, wiping down surfaces as if the afternoon had never happened. When the floor was clear, she pulled out a hidden phone and dialed. "He's more dangerous than we knew," she said in perfect Japanese. "But I'm in." The voice on the other end replied with a single word: "Careful." Elena ended the call, invisible once more, but with a fire of purpose burning in her eyes. She was not just a translator, she was an avenger. The next day's headlines were a disaster for Marcus. Janitor saves billion-dollar deal. He fumed in his office. "PR has a statement," Jessica offered, "positioning you as the discoverer of hidden talent." "Fine," he scoffed. "Just make sure she understands this is temporary, very temporary." In a small, windowless office, Elena was issued a new ID badge, Interim Language Advisor. Marcus entered without knocking. The dinner went well. "Mr. Sato wants you present at all future meetings. Let me be clear. You work for me. This position ends when the deal closes." "Of course, Mr. Thorne," Elena replied evenly. As he left, her mind drifted back to her life with Matteo, to his growing fear as he consulted on a classified project for Marcus. Some patterns shouldn't be decoded by machines, he had told her a month before his boating accident. An accident with no witnesses and no recovered body. A sharp knock pulled her back to the present. A young assistant, Chloe, entered. "I'm here to get you set up," she said with a kind, nervous smile. During the following days, a quiet friendship formed between them. Chloe, an aspiring diplomat, was fascinated by Elena's linguistic skill. "How do you stay so calm when Mr. Thorne treats you like—" She trailed off, embarrassed. "Dignity isn't given by others," Elena said with a small smile. "It's maintained from within." Meanwhile, Marcus's paranoia grew. He ordered a deep background check on Elena, but her records from her time in Japan were sealed or redacted. "Something isn't right," he told Jessica. "Nobody goes from academia to pushing a mop without a story." During one session, Mr. Sato used a coded haiku, a structure used in certain Japanese intelligence circles. Elena responded with the correct countersign, confirming to him that they were on the same side. He knew who she was. One afternoon, Chloe came to Elena's office looking terrified. She held a folder stamped with a classified project name, Ethel. "I found this in Mr. Thorne's private files," she whispered. "It details how Thorne Dynamics has been using AI for unauthorized surveillance, selling the technology to rogue states. And the Yamamoto algorithms would make it even more powerful." Elena's face remained calm, but her heart raced. This was the proof she needed, the very thing Matteo had died to expose. "Why are you showing me this?" she asked carefully. "Because you're the only person here who seems to care about what's right," Chloe said, her eyes sincere. Just then, a media alert buzzed on their phones. Anonymous sources had leaked allegations of corporate espionage within the negotiations, specifically implicating the translation services. Within an hour, security guards arrived at Elena's office. "Mr. Thorne has requested your removal from the premises," they said flatly. They escorted her through the building, past the stares of her colleagues, and out the front door into a storm of news cameras. The headlines would be perfect. The janitor turned hero, now ejected as a suspected spy. But this was all part of Marcus's desperate plan. What he didn't know was that Mr. Sato had already acted. That night, instead of being interrogated, Elena was taken to a private suite where Mr. Sato was waiting. "I apologize for the theatrics," he said. "I needed to speak with you away from Thorne's surveillance. I knew your husband. His warnings about Marcus were ignored. The real test begins now. Bradley thinks you're gone. That makes you our greatest asset." The next morning, as Marcus addressed his crisis team, the boardroom doors swung open. Elena walked in, followed by Mr. Sato. "Your security is impressive, Mr. Thorne," Kusanagi said pleasantly. "But Ms. Morales has been appointed as a special cultural attaché to our delegation. Her insights are invaluable." The board, prioritizing the deal over Marcus's ego, agreed. Elena was back inside, no longer an employee but a diplomat with immunity. With her newfound access and allies, she presented the Ethel files to federal investigators. The final confrontation came in that same boardroom. "Mr. Thorne," Elena began, her voice ringing with authority as she projected documents onto the main screen. "These files prove you stole Mateo Sanchez's research, weaponized it, and had him eliminated when he threatened to expose you." Marcus stared, his empire crumbling around him as his board members and the Yamamoto delegation looked on in horror. His reign was over. Months later, from her new office as the head of the Thorne Yamamoto Ethical Oversight Board, Elena looked out over the city. She had not only achieved justice for Mateo, but had ensured his work would be used to connect the world, not control it. The invisible woman had made everyone see the truth.